Rogue Sun, issue number 24 from Image Comics. So this issue starts off with Divinity, and I still don't care for this character at all. But I will say that this issue does do something cool with her origin. So basically, in the last issue, we found out that Divinity as a child was going to die. And somehow Dottie came up with this idea to be able to save Divinity's life, and we get to see what exactly she did. So this issue starts off in the past with Divinity waking up, and Dottie's there, and they meet this guy named Mika. Either Mika or Micah. I'm gonna say Micah. So Micah is this guy. He lives in this universe, dimension, whatever it is. It's this place called Perfection, and he basically tells Divinity that you were about to die, but your aunt brought you here and made a deal, and now I'm going to be able to extend your lifespan, but you're going to have to do something for me. Basically, you're going to have to go and fight monsters. The tougher the monster, the more your lifespan will increase. So Divinity is pretty much forced to fight monsters in order to live. If she doesn't want her lifespan to decrease and die, she has to fight monsters. I'm like, you know what? That's kind of cool. An idea of a demon hunter who basically has to fight demons in order to live, because if he ignores that calling, he will die. Or she will die in this case. Cool idea. Shame that it's wasted on this character. I don't care for her. I'm hoping that changes. I'm hoping the more we get to see of Divinity in her past, maybe the more I'll grow to like her as a character. It's just everything I've seen from her so far, she is just very, very annoying. She's not very likable. But I will say that I like this idea for her origin story. I just wish that it was for another character in another series, because I feel like we've drifted away from Rogue Sun, and we're now just following so many other characters. In fact, the very next scene we cut to is at the Avery, where the Raven Queen is telling this story, basically about how the first Raven Queen came to be. And basically, there was this evil lord who murdered his brother to steal his land, and to ensure his claim, he attempted to kill the last heir, which was his baby nephew. But the child was hidden away, and the only person who knew the location of the child was this peasant woman. So he tied her to a tree where ravens can come and pick out of her eyes. And every day he would come to her and ask for her to reveal where the child is, and she refused. And eventually, at her last moments, a raven landed on the tree and spoke to her, and told her you could have freed yourself with the word, yet you remained silent. You rebuff evil with love and pain with compassion. You may have been born a peasant, but I say to you, you are a queen. And the bird cut her bindings and led her to the Avery, where she and the child would be safe. And that's when we see the traitor. Basically, there's someone who's going after the Avery, trying to kill people in order to claim the Raven Queen throne for herself. And it's this woman here with the bald head. And they go to seize her when all of a sudden a bunch of the soldiers end up getting killed. And it turns out that the shadow assassin is here. And the Raven Queen doesn't seem too surprised. She seems to know that this person was going to be the traitor. And more soldiers show up, and they're going to go after the traitor. And the traitor's like, all right, well, just kill all of them. And that's when Dylan shows up. And Dylan starts fighting against the shadow assassin, kind of getting his butt kicked at first. I do find it interesting that as he's fighting this assassin, the rest of the ravens just kind of stand there. Like the Avery sisters just watch. They don't do anything. They don't try to help him. They don't go after the traitor. Like, the traitor's literally just standing here, and everyone else is just kind of like, all right, we'll just stay out here and stare and watch Rogue Sun fight this assassin that was trying to kill us just a couple seconds ago. You would think that they would, I don't know, at least maybe hold down the traitor, tie her up, something. But no, they don't do anything. They just stand around and watch. And eventually we get a moment where Dylan goes to punch the shadow assassin and gets his arm trapped in a shadow. And eventually he's able to destroy the shadow, and he gets this new weapon. It is a flaming flay. Flay? Well, I can't pronounce that word for the life of me, but you know what it is. They call it a Morning Star, which is surprising because that's the name of the main antagonist of the series. So yeah, Dylan has a brand new weapon, and he fights against the shadow assassin. He's able to beat him. Shadow assassin goes to make his escape when the Avery sisters surround him with candles and basically say, you're not going to be able to escape with no shadows. And Dylan goes and punches him and knocks him out. And then that's when the Avery sisters actually decide to do something about the traitor. And they don't decide, hey, you know what? This woman killed our own, betrayed us, and was trying to usurp the throne. Maybe we should execute her. Instead, they decide, no, we're going to strip her of her powers and her memories and banish her to the mortal world. Send her back to Earth. I'm just like, you're asking for trouble. Another thing is, like, as they're dragging her away, she literally says that I didn't do this alone. There are vultures in your flock. So you would think, okay, well, in that case, let's not erase her memories. Let's lock her up and interrogate her and find out who the rest of the traitors are. Who was she working with? You know, something like that. But no. Instead, they decide that what we're going to do is we're just going to erase her memories and we're going to send her back to Earth where she can live her life on her own. I don't know. Like, if I was a Raven Queen, someone killed my family, like members of my family, which is how she views the Avery sisters, like they're her family. Someone went and killed my family and then try to usurp my power. Just take them out. Now we don't have to deal with them again. Instead, she doesn't do that. And again, when the traitor brags that there's people she was working with, she doesn't decide, okay, well, who were they? Let's interrogate this person, find out who the traitors are. No, we're just going to ignore that, I guess. So then we go back to Dylan, where Dylan is talking with Marcus about the new weapon and how Marcus refused to tell him about it. And Marcus basically says, I didn't tell you because I don't want you to get stronger, because you said when you were going to get stronger, you would go face Morningstar, and you're not ready for that. And Dylan's like, dude, I said when I get stronger, I would go after Morningstar when I'm ready. That doesn't mean that you're going to have to hold out on me and keep me weak so that I won't ever go after him. Like, make me stronger. Just because I gain some powers doesn't mean I'm immediately going to go after Morningstar. Like, you got to trust me on this. And then he basically says, I'm interested if you're willing to teach me. And Mark is like, I got some new tricks. And then we see Ari, Dylan's half-sister. She gets what looks like Rogue Sun powers too. Basically, Caleb shows up and says, I'll make you a knight, and you and I have much to do together. And then it looks like the page for like the next issue, it has her with the Rogue Sun powers. And I'm like, oh, really? Are we already doing a Rogue Sun girl? Like, here's the thing. I don't care that it's going to be a female. It's just I don't want another Rogue Sun already. I feel like we're doing everything but trying to finish Dylan's story. Let me explain what I mean by that. This issue was literally nothing that we haven't already seen before. Dylan and Marcus get into a fight. Dylan and Marcus make up, and Marcus promises to teach Dylan, and Dylan gets a new weapon. We had that already, with Dylan getting a sword. And we had that arc already where Dylan and Marcus decide, okay, you know what? Let's work together. We had that, and then we went away from that, just so we can go back to that again. We're repeating the same freaking arc over and over again. And it feels like we're doing more stuff with other characters. We know more about the Raven Queen and Divinity, and now Ari is going to get her own powers. Like, it seems like this writer wants to focus on everyone but Dylan. Dylan still hasn't really grown. Like, he's grown a little bit, but we're on issue 24, and the basic gist is, oh, Dylan's learning to become a hero. And he's totally against doing anything with his dad because his dad left him and his mom. But now he's begrudgingly working alongside his dad. And now they're going to be working together to make Dylan stronger. It took us 24 issues to do that when we've already done this before. Like, we're just repeating the same stories with Dylan. Meanwhile, other characters are getting their own arcs and their own growth and stuff like that. It feels like the writer wants everyone but Dylan to be the main character. Like, if the next issue does nothing but focus on Ari, that's going to just be super annoying as well. Like, half, I don't want to say half. I want to say like a third of this issue is with Divinity. And then I want to say maybe a third of it is Dylan fighting and the assassin and talking to his dad. And then the other third is with the Raven Queen and the Avery sisters and Ari. So Dylan's like taking up a third of an issue of his own series. Which, again, it's fine. Like, you can have issues where the main character kind of takes a back seat. And I'm not saying that that's what Dylan's doing here. He's not at that point yet. So I am seeing his screen time being drastically dwindled down as opposed to how he was in the first few issues. But I am saying that maybe we should stop giving other characters more screen time until we start building Dylan up again. like actually give this guy an arc, actually like have him have his character growth. It seems like every time we're about to, we either relapse the story or we move on to someone else. So like it looked like we were going to do something with Dylan, and then Divinity came, and then we started focusing a lot on her. Or it looked like Dylan and his dad, like we went through a whole entire arc where they decide to work together, only for them to not work together, only for them to now decide to work together again. We went through a whole thing where Dylan discovers that he has a weapon, which is the flaming sword, only for him to not really use that sword anymore for some reason. And now he has a new weapon. It's like we're just repeating the same things over and over again. And I don't know. I'm starting to get just a little bit, I don't know if I want to say burnt out, but at this point I'm just like, just do something already. I'm tired of reading the same goddamn story with Dylan. It's the same thing with him. Can I work with my dad? Yeah, I can work with my dad. Oh, me and my dad aren't working together. Oh, we decide that we will work together. Can we move on? Hopefully we're going to do that now. Unless they decide to repeat that same storyline again. And also, yeah, I again, just with Ari now becoming the next, I don't want to say the next Rogue Son. Now with Ari becoming another Rogue Son, I feel like we're moving too fast with that. We're doing everything but finishing Dylan's story. Or at least finishing like the first big arc of this story. If that makes any sense. I don't know. I'm sick. I'm tired. I'm just rambling at this point. But I feel like we need to stop introducing all these new characters and having them taking over and stuff, and just focus on Dylan. Let's do more stuff with Dylan. Let's build him up as a character, and then we can slowly start introducing sidekicks that will actually help him in battle. I feel like we're doing too much, and we're ignoring what this series should really be about, and that's Dylan. And that's Dylan going from being a bully to being a hero. Dylan going from hating his dad for abandoning him to having to rely on his help, become a hero, to become a better person. Like, that's the story that we should be focusing on. And I feel like this series does everything it can to make that story take a back seat to other people. I don't know, you tell me if you agree or disagree. Maybe it's just me. But that's my thought on Rogue Son lately. Anyways, there you go. There's issue number 24. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I still want to thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next one is more to your liking. With that said, thank you once again, and I hope you guys and gals have a good one. Later.